Hey, what's going on, guys? For this week's MOOC review, we're going to be taking a look at another older issue here of Hobby Japan, and this is a Hobby Japan issue from 2012. This is the February 2012 issue. I pulled this one out of my old magazine stock here just because this one has a theme of Unicorn, Gundam Unicorn Ep.4 specifically, and with the Master Grade Narrative Gundam just coming out, I thought it'd be, at least this is the closest thing to Gundam Narrative that I have, being Unicorn themed. It's pretty adjacent to Gundam Narrative. So anyway, for this week's magazine review, let's go ahead and take a look back at what was going on in the hobby world back in 2012. But alright, so let's get into it here. Obviously, we have the full armor Unicorn Gundam right there on the front. Also, the HG Beginning J Gundam there. Pretty cool, sort of like a take on the God Gundam, Master Gundam, and Funsaiki sort of custom build of that. You got some Age 2 action up there at the top. I'm not sure who this character is anyway. Some other figure or garage kit. And the MSRP for this one, 840 yen, so around $6 in current conversion. This is issue number 512. February 2012. Around here on the backside, rollout of the HG Gundam Age 2 Normal. There you can see some of the other HG Age kits out at the time. Fantastic line of kits. And interesting to see here, I don't remember when or where I bought this, but I must have got it in Korea at some point, as this has a price tag on it here in Korea, and it's 14,300 won, which is actually more than the Japanese original MSRP for this one, interestingly enough. But as it is with these, we've got a lot of stuff, 390 pages in total. So these magazines have a ton of stuff in there, lots of paper. So I'm gonna go kind of fast through this one and really just kind of only focus on the stuff that's of particular interest to me, as there's just going to be a ton of stuff in here. Some new paints, here's our table of contents, and let's get into it with the Mobile Suit Gundam UC Episode 4. This is the MG Full Armor Gundam. Here is our feature, and then we've got some other cool mobile suits here from the 4th episode in particular of Gundam Unicorn. So Gundam Unicorn OVA obviously was out at the time, or in theaters at the time. Episode 6 was the episode that I actually saw in the movie theater while I was living there. I was fortunate enough to see in the movie theater. It was very cool. This is the 100 scale Master Grade by Miyuki Uehara. Beautiful build here of the Full Armor Unicorn. I remember seeing the, before there was a Master Grade kit of the Full Armor Unicorn, it was only available as a, I think it was like a Robot Damashi Ka signature exclusive, like figure anyway. And I remember seeing it in stores or at the time when it was out anyway, when it was first out before this kit was out. And I just thought, wow, the Full Armor Unicorn looks so cool. And then it was awesome to get it as a Master Grade kit. Now, the Master Grade kit is a bit of a brick. If you guys have ever built it, you know. And there's not really a whole lot that you can do with it. I think in order to even do this pose, I mean, I would imagine there's probably some magic going on to strengthen some of those joints and be able to get it to do some of these basic poses. But beautiful build nonetheless. If you guys are a fan of the Full Armor Unicorn Gundam, I would absolutely recommend getting the real grade version, as, like I said, it just has a lot better articulation and posability. The Master Grade kit is awesome, and there's some differences between the two, pros and cons, but if depending on what you're looking for, I'd say the real grade kit is probably the better way to go. Here's some really cool like beginner tips for the Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn. So just like tips on how to clean up the nubs a little bit better, how to do some panel lining with a panel line marker, how to apply the stickers, how to apply the decal stickers, everything on here. I think those are decals, or the waterside decals? Yeah, those are waterside decals actually, so okay. How to apply the waterside decals as well as the dry transfer decals there. And how to detail paint it up just using some Gundam marker. And yeah, there you go. So pretty basic steps for making your Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn look even better without fully painting it. Okay, then we've got the Bandai 144 scale HGUC Goof custom conversion. We do have an HGUC Ifrit now, but at the time in 2012 there was no Ifrit, so there was the HGUC Goof custom, which is a fantastic kit. So it's a great kit to base your custom build off of, but obviously a ton of modification here to make the Ifrit Schneid, as we saw it in Gundam Unicorn. It must have been Episode 4, I guess. Really cool design, and this is a really awesome custom build. But of course, now fortunately we have the HGUC, and I would highly recommend the HGUC. The HGUC Ifrit kit in its many forms is a really, really fantastic kit. I love it. The Noct is probably my favorite version, but the Schneid also a cool version of the Ifrit that you can get. Okay, The Desert Galgug, we don't have any kit of this. I think there's not even like an old MSV kit of this as far as I can remember. So this is a custom build based on the HGUC Galgug Cannon kit. And with a ton of modification. I would absolutely love a kit of this. Super cool design here, MSV variation of the, it's kind of a redundant is the MSV variation. The V is for variation, so mobile suit variation. Anyway, really cool kit, really cool design here, really cool MSV design of the Galgug. I would absolutely love a kit of this, but as you can see by the work in progress, tons of work put into that. Super cool color scheme, super cool variation. And the Marasai, of course, the unicorn version of the Marasai, which interestingly enough, we actually just reviewed this kit on the channel. I reviewed this kit just days ago, less than a week ago. So you can check out that review. And then there's also the HGUC version. I believe I have reviewed the HGUC version as well, if I remember correctly. But interestingly, this is the HGUC. And it's just based on the original HGUC. I think at the time of this magazine, I think the HGUC unicorn version of the Marasai was not out yet. So this was just the original HGUC Marasai, customized with some nice customization on there to make the unicorn version, just with some slight modifications. Actually, between the two, the main body, as far as I know, there's not any real differences, but this one's customized to just be, you know, a little bit nicer. But between the two, it's not like there's technically the helmet is supposed to be longer or something like that. The skirt armor is longer on one version than the other. There's no real differences there. For the weapon, I'm wondering what was used for the weapon, if that was also just custom made, because I believe the HGUC Hammurabi also was not out yet at the time in 2012. I could be wrong, but as far as I can remember, the HGUC Hammurabi wasn't out yet. So I wonder if the rifle is actually taken from like the old non-grade 144 scale Hammurabi kit, which I believe there is, although I could be wrong about that one. Well, it looks like there is mention in here of the HGC Hammurabi, so it must have been out at the time. Okay, so the weapons are from that kit. But yeah, there is a unicorn version Marasai HGC kit out now. Anyway, the Gym 2 Semi-Striker. This one is the high-grade Gym 2 conversion modeled by Orange Ebisu. I was actually just mentioning this earlier today. I'm recording this video here on Friday. On this Friday morning, we had the live stream on the USA Gundam TV channel with Adam and I actually mentioned the Gym Semi-Striker as one of my favorites kind of gym variants. I really like it. It's really cool. Feels like very fitting kind of job for a gym to not have any like super heavy weaponry, but this is probably about as heavy as you could imagine the gym would be able to go in terms of being able to power the two beam sabers at once. So I'm not sure exactly on the actual specs of this weapon, if there is some sort of auxiliary power source built into the weapon or anything like that. I don't know, but just technology-wise, it seems like the Gym Semi-Striker is a good kind of logical fit anyway as far as gyms go, but really nice custom build here of this. Very cool, really like that. And also the color scheme is nice too on the Gym Semi-Striker. Okay, UC, other different UC stuff from Gundam Unicorn. We got the Delta Kai, the Shinanju Stein, the Delta Gundam, the Ka Signature Fire-Alarmed Custom down there, and of course the Delta Plus. So just some different stuff there. This is new kits that were coming out at the time. So HGUC Banshee Unicorn mode, HGUC Banshee Destroy mode. These are both coming out in 2012 at that time. And then of course the Delta Plus, right? No, that's just the original Delta Gundam. The original Delta Gundam coming out in 2012 there as well. So there we have just the prototype of that with the full color images there of the two different versions of the Banshee. Very cool. And then HG Seed goodness over here. So it looks like some different parts for Gundam Seed. I'm not sure if this was maybe a set that was packaged with, I'm not sure, not that I'm aware of. I don't think it was packaged with this particular set, but this, I don't know what this runner is. This looks like a runner that is like a magazine pack-in runner, which was maybe in a previous issue. Yeah, okay, the 2012 April issue, it looks like, came with this runner, which includes the Grand Slam sword, some improved joint parts, and also some additional hand option parts. So that's kind of interesting here for your HG Seed kits. Very cool. Interesting. I'm not sure if I've ever have seen that before. I'm sure I've seen it before at some point in passing, but Interesting. All right, so some other non-unicorn Gunpla stuff. Now that we're into some seed stuff with that, we've got the new seed kit that was coming out at the time, the Master Grade Dual Gundam Assault Shroud. This would have been coming out in when? February. So right at the time of this magazine release. Some really nice line art over here too of the Gundam. That's really cool. Some other HG, RG, MG stuff from the time period here. The Heavy Arms EW, it looks like. Some HG Seed stuff, the RG Skygrasper pack that was coming out at the time. Different variations of the RG Strike Gundam, active and deactive mode. Other HG Seed kits. So interesting, some kind of different stuff from that time. I would have expected there's more age stuff coming out at the time, but we might see some more of that later on. Anyway, some builder's parts sets over here of this hanger and one of the weapon sets. Okay, up there, one of the system weapons sets. And some garage kits over here. So garage kit of the Gundam X, 144 scale full kit, very interesting. I'm not sure, these are, okay, yeah, B Club. So it's the B Club 144 scale Turn X. Sorry, I just said Gundam X, didn't I? Anyway, Turn X. But here's the Gundam Double X. Over here, the Zeta 2. And the Victory Gundam, a couple of other B Club busts and B Club kit there. Very interesting. I don't know if I've ever have seen those before. Very interesting. Some SD Age plastic models here. SD Age 1, Normal, Sparrow, and Titus there as well. It took me a second to remember the name of that particular variant. Some other SD stuff coming out here. We've got the Gunpla Builders J here. Gunpla Builders, obviously the predecessor to like Build Fighters, and so it's kind of experimental series at the time, which didn't really necessarily do that well, but it kind of ultimately led to Bandai kind of figuring out the better way to do it with the Build Fighters series, obviously, which was massively popular. But the Burning J sword, this is actually very interesting. This beginning J Gundam, it doesn't look familiar to me at all. I'm not sure if I've ever seen this before. I'm sure I have, but well, it must be a very hard to come by kit. I don't know. Just even that box art down here in the corner doesn't look familiar to me. I don't remember any beginning J Gundam. I don't know. I don't think it was any sort of like exclusive kit or anything like that. Very interesting though. Looks quite cool. If I am ever able to find one, or if it ever does get reprinted or anything like that, I would be interested in getting one, trying to get my hands on one, checking it out. Looks quite interesting. Speaking of very interesting, there's like a black version of the O there in the background. I'm guessing this is something related to the anime or just like a novelization here. Here it is, Black the O. Very interesting indeed. And then this mobile suit over here, which is like a variation of the Gerazulu or something. Let's see, got some more on that. Here's like a better version of that image without the text on it right there. And then here's the PMX the O GPB Gunpla Builders color Black the O. It's basically kind of inverted where it's just all black instead of yellow. And then for the vents are all gold. Really, really interesting. I don't know if again, it's something I'm saying a lot, it feels like, taking a look through this old issue, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen this before. If this was something that, was even like soft canon like this from this just like mini novelization or whatever, I'm sure someone has made this on their own, but I'm sure I've seen like loads of different custom builds of the O, but I'm not ever sure that I've ever seen it in black. Very interesting. All right, a Gerazulu here, conversion modeled by Simon, based on, of course, just the HUC Gerazulu kit. Quite some interesting customization done on this one. Some very interesting colors and customization done on that. There it is with the Black the O. Very, very interesting indeed. And then our beginning J Gundam. So this one's modeled by Junsan. Yeah, quite interesting indeed. Not a Gundam that I feel like I've seen. But one thing that I don't really care too much for with the beginning series is the Beam V-fin. Not really a fan, I have to say. So, if I were able to get one and if I ever were to paint one, I would not leave the V-fin clear. I would just paint it normally, I think. But I don't know, what are your what's your position on Beam V-fins? Are you into it or not? I think it looks better on what's the Astray Red Frame Dragon or whatever that has the big blast like V-fin beam effect part. I think it looks kind of cool, but really interesting added armor from the backpack of the Master Gundam over here for these like almost like crossbone-esque armor shields there added onto the top of the shoulders. Very cool. Really interesting build there. And then with this customized Funsaiki build here as well. Very, very interesting. Quite cool indeed. I like it. And then here we have, again, a section of some beginner's tips for that particular model. Again, just kind of how to better clean up the nub marks, how to better add some of the details by using either paint or stickers or Gundam markers there, just to kind of detail it up a little bit. And then just an out-of-box build here, just with the minimal work done on it. Looks pretty nice. All right, so here we got the Gunpla Builders J, another kind of little novel bit here. It looks like with the beginning D Gundam, another cool variation for this one. This one as well, I'm not too familiar with. There's just, I guess, some of the kits from this series. I've not ever really seen too much before. It's very interesting. So, all right, up next here, this is something that I can really get into. It's the Regelgu, as you guys know, one of my favorite mobile suit designs. I love the Gelgoog. This one is the HGUC kit, actually, although it, just based on these details that are on there and just the proportions, everything almost looks like it'd be based on the Master Grade 2.0, because it's really, really nicely done here. So all the added details and everything on here look really, really good. I'm gonna guess this is converted using parts from the old non-grade 1/44 scale Regelgu kit, which there is one of, but there's, oh well, there actually now there is a HGUC, full HGUC Regelgu kit, but yeah, at the time there was not. So this is just the HGUC Gelgoog, and then using parts from the non-grade 1/44 scale Regelgu kit from the 80s. So really cool, really beautiful build here of this. I really like the color scheme as well, too. Having the added purple up there for the shoulder parts, for the Regelgu shoulder parts. And really, really nicely done here on the added details on it, really making it look convincingly like a Master Grade, even though it's just the high grade. So that's really cool. Very nice. All right, so let's see. Here we got some new Age stuff. So it's a bunch of different Age kits that were coming out, or that were out at the time. It's an advertisement for the Bandai Hobby site. And now we're getting into some more Age stuff. So here about the Age 2 normal in 2012. So I think Age 2 was, while Unicorn was the OVA series going on at the time, Age was the TV series going on at the time. So a lot of really cool artwork here from Gundam Age of some of the different designs. The Adele up there, the Dorado, and ZS down there at the bottom. Some stills from the anime. I still have not watched the anime. I would like to at some point, just for the sake of it. Great kits from this series. A lot of great kits, both in high grade and Master Grade. But I've not ever seen the series, so I would like to. Anyway, here's about the HG H2 normal, which has been used for a number of different variants later on. And then we have the Master Grade Age 1 normal. Another fantastic, fantastic kit. I would put it as one of the best Master Grades that I could recommend for you guys to check out. The Age 1 normal, definitely check that out at some point if you can. There's a little bit more over here about the Adele HG kit, which does look very nice. And let's see, some more HG Age stuff and other different Age-related merchandise. Little bust there, Blu-ray, Robot Damashi, some different cool stuff there. It looks like gachapon stuff. And then the Mega Size. Yes, this is another one that I would love to get at some point. When people ask, sometimes I get asked a question like, what's a Grail kit for you? And this is one I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a Grail kit, but it's definitely one that I would love to get if and when it ever gets a reprint. Maybe not so much the Age 2, but definitely the Age 1 Mega Size kit is one I would love to get if and when it ever gets reprinted. So hopefully it will get reprinted at some point, and hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, it's one that I never picked up before, but I would love to get. 1/48 scale Age 1 normal would be really awesome, just because being like an Age version of the RX 782, I think there's a lot of different like RX 782 variation color schemes that would look good on this kit. So like the prototype color scheme, or like the G3 color scheme, or the real type color scheme, I think would look really good painted on this Mega Size Age 1 normal. So yeah, something to look forward to. Hopefully at some point in the future we'll get a reprint of that. We've got the HGU, or not HGUC, but the HG Age 1 Sparrow, or Spallow, depending on your proper pronunciation of it, but another really cool design. I don't think that I've built the HG version of this, but the MG I certainly have. Another fantastic MG kit. And if you guys remember, I actually repainted the MG in the color scheme of the Ava Unit 02, in like the orange and red and white color scheme of the Ava 02. That was the functions of this kit. The seam lines on the backpack are kind of tough, but otherwise, really, really cool kit, super cool design, fantastic articulation, really nice detail on these. Can't recommend the HG kits enough, or the MG kits, honestly. The Bakuto, this is one that I've not built, but I would imagine it's a fun kit. I'm not really into the design quite as much. It's quite a unique design here for this one, obviously. Nice painted build here of this in like a metallic green. Also, as you guys know, I'm not really super into metallic paint jobs, but as far as metallic paint jobs go, this one does certainly look very nice. There it is, transformed. And all right, now it looks like this is some other Hobby Japan publications. And let's see, some other different merchandise. Looks like coming out, Gundam Express publications, and also figures here, Robot Damashi, Gundam Converge down there at the bottom. Stand art, unfortunately, not a thing anymore. Those have gone away. We have some more Robot Damashi stuff over here. There's going to be a lot of Robot Damashi. These kind of hanging, dangly Gundam Robot Damashi there are kind of cool. I feel like I had one of those at some point. I think I had the gym one. I'm not sure where that went or what happened to that ultimately, but we had the Gundam Head Collection. This was another quite short-lived line, but I remember seeing some of the age ones in particular in stores all the time at the time in like 2012, 2013. But yeah, that line unfortunately wasn't around for all that long. Ultimately, later on, not too much longer after that, we got the Exceed Zaku heads, which were I think even better than that. So not complaining too much. Here we have some more Gundam Age line art, which is very cool. So that's really nice. The G-Exis and the Age 1 Sparrow, a couple other designs on here. Some UC, Unicorn era line art here as well. The Ifrit Shnai, the Desert Gelgoog, Marasai, Desert Zaku, Jim Semi-Striker. So a lot of really cool line art here. Great reference for if you guys like line art. And then advertisements, lots of advertisements for new different stuff. So like I said, there's a lot to go through with this issue, so I'm going to kind of speed through some of these advertisement pages, but you guys can watch the video at half speed or something if you want to see that in more slow motion. Here we have our fold out poster, which in this case on this side is the full armor Unicorn Gundam, the master grade that we saw at the start. So that's really cool for this side of the poster. On the other side of the poster, we have Verka artwork here. This is something I'm not familiar with at all. I don't know what this is. This is a general purpose humanoid type, a decisive battle exoskeleton commander, Haruhi Suzumiya's customized model, Haruhi Robo SOS-01. I don't know what this is or where this is from. You guys can let me know if you know any more about this. I have no idea, but always love seeing this style Kotoki artwork here for the pull-out posters. Really cool. So it looks very interesting, whatever it is. I just don't know what that is. Seems it's like an exosuit for something, right? So it's a shame that part of the illustration is not the character, or whatever the character looks like that goes into there. I don't know, but okay, there you have it anyway. Got the Gundam fixed figuration, Ka signature, Biolarnt custom. This is something I'm not sure if I've ever have seen this before. If you would have asked me if there's a Ka signature Biolarnt custom, I would have said, no, I don't think so. But apparently there was. Interestingly enough, there's that, as well as the gun cannon detector, the Bolonak Saman, which we're actually finally getting as an HGUC kit, probably later this year. We don't have a release date for it yet, but I would assume it's going to be later in 2024. And then the Zaku 1 sniper there as well. Some cool Ka signature stuff. Oh, here's what that is. This over here, that exosuit. Here's what the character looks like that goes in there. I don't know why the character was not included in the artwork on the previous page, but okay. So it's a little girl in a maid bunny suits. Interesting. Okay. Still not really familiar with whatever the source material is for this, but it looks like there's like some giant scissors that go with that too. Okay, interesting. And then the Armor Girls Project Wing Gundam EW version over here. This is very interesting. I've always thought the Armor Girls Project, while they make, Bandai makes these figures in the Armor Girls Project, I don't know why they've never gone ahead and started to make model kits like this. Basically, if you could imagine like Frame Arms Girls, but Gundam, made by Bandai, it seems like they're sitting on a gold mine, and I don't know why they don't come out with model kits like this, but I'm sure at some point we will probably see it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it, if and when we do. So here's some more Tamashii Nation stuff, and a whole bunch of LBX here for you guys. LBX, a line of model kits. I still have not ever built one, but I've heard they're pretty fun, and I know that some of you guys are fans, so I'm sure at some point I should try building one just for the fun of it. But most of the designs, almost all of the designs, just don't really do it for me. It's just not really a style that I'm really that into. But here's some more beginner's tips for this particular model. But there's a couple that are okay, so maybe at some point, just for the sake of it, I'll pick one up, try building it, just at least to have the experience. But if you guys have particular recommendations, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Ones that were particularly good kits, were particularly fun, and ones that you think that I might like, just based on my preferences. I feel like for all the different kits and everything that I build, you guys could probably have a pretty good idea of what I may appreciate as far as different LBX designs. This one's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. The whole theme, the whole vibe, aesthetic of this one is kind of unique. So I don't know, something like this, not really quite so much. The whole like dinosaur soldier kind of thing with giant feet. It's not really quite so much to my taste, but interesting nonetheless. All right, so we got quite a lot of LBX in here for you LBX fans. Yeah, so a whole bunch of LBX stuff there for you guys. And then our next section up here is going to be HJ Arms Frontline. Is going to be a bunch more other different mecha stuff here. I think it's going to be a mix of, yeah, it looks like a mix of figures and model kits. Like some of these are figures, some of these are models. I think over here looks like, yeah, I think like these are Max Factory. A couple of Max Factory models there, I believe. So Zoids, HMM, like Kotobukiya kits over here, other Kotobukiya models. And yeah, there's some frame arms up there. It's very interesting. There's like a clear blue version of the Anubis kit from Zone of the Enders. That's kind of cool. And then here, if you notice, it's the Lenos kit from Plum from PM Office A. And there's like a mechanical clear version of that, which I've never ever seen before. I would imagine it must be like a quite rare kit, but that's very interesting. Then over here we've got a Hasegawa Virtualon kit, another series of model kits that I've never tried before, but would certainly be interesting. I've heard a lot of mixed things, that they're quite unique kits, quite unique designs, but I mean, just obviously just based on kind of like the design of the Virtualon series robots, there's just a lot of painting, a lot of masking that's required for these kits, if you want to have them to be color accurate, because they're quite colorful designs. All right, here's the Kotobukiya Anubis kit, Jehudi kit, sorry, which I believe, if I remember correctly, I think I saw that this one is getting reprinted soon, I think it was. But Kotobukiya is in the process of kind of slowly going through their orbital frame Zone of the Enders kits and reprinting them, I think, at the moment. So I think the Jehudi, if I remember correctly, was one that was just recently announced. Or no, that was the Dolores kit was recently announced that is going to be reprinted soon. But the Jehudi, I think, also is going to or was recently reprinted. I don't know. Anyway, we got their D style, which is Kotobukiya's version of SD here of the Arbalest from Full Metal Panic. Another kind of quite cool, quite unique one there for you Full Metal Panic fans. Some more Full Metal Panic stuff down here as well. And then a Soltic over here from Dugrum. And some Yamato stuff, some different mecha stuff here. This is the Vox Aura over here from Flower Declaration of Your Heart. I'm not sure, I've kind of seen this series around, but I don't really know too much about it. Kind of quite interesting, unique designs there. Some Muv-Love stuff over there. This is cool here. This is the Fine Molds kit of the gardening robot. I actually have reviewed this kit. It's a very cool kit if you guys are Studio Ghibli fans. This Fine Molds makes a couple of different Studio Ghibli's kits, and this one is one of them. There's actually a soldier robot and a gardening robot, so if you guys are interested, if you're fans, you can check out those kits. Quite cool. Very simple kits, of course, nothing really too complicated. But if you're a fan, and especially if you wanted to make a cool little vignette like this, they make for very nice kits. So that's really cool. Nice to see that in here. And then speaking of Muv-Luv, here's some Muv-Luv alternative stuff for you guys. I just recently reviewed a Muv-Luv kit, probably not going to be one that's in here. It was the what was the name of that one? The something Blast Guard. The name is escaping me at the moment. These are actually Revoltech, it looks like, here for these. I think this may be before Kotobukiya was making the model kits of it, but here's some pretty cool designs here from the Muv-Luv alternative series. So yeah, those are fun. Anyway, check out the recent review. Here we got the Grosser Hund kit from Hasegawa over here from Maschinen Krieger. A very cool kit. Obviously, we have a number of different variations of this kit out now. This was, I think, the first one that Hasegawa came out with, the original Grosser Hund. And just recently, we got the Maskenball. I think was the most recent version that just came out about a month ago, 2 months ago, 1 month ago. So really cool write-up here about the Grosser Hund, kind of text about some of the different aspects of the design and different parts of the kit, and then a couple of nice painted samples over here. Very nice, and some more painted samples. So a lot of really nice painted samples here about the Grosser Hund. Very cool. Really nice to see that included in here as well. Lots of hidden gems in this particular issue. We got the kind of like monster version of the SAFS up there. And there's Max and Koyokama-san. This looks like some sort of Maschinen Krieger or just kind of like modeling meet up there. There's a couple of other cool builds of like a variation of the Kret and like a crashed Falke or something it looks like. Very interesting. All right, some more Kotobukiya stuff, and I think that's probably going to be it for the bulk of anything that's too interesting for me. There'll be a lot of other stuff in here included, and like I said, I'm just kind of gonna go quickly through some of the stuff. If there's anything that you're like, oh wait, I want to see that, you can always, of course, pause the video as I'm going through this, but I do want to show you everything in here, but there's not necessarily going to be too much commentary that I really can offer or care to offer on some of this stuff. Like, as you guys know, Kamen Rider is just not really my thing. Some quite interesting looking Kamen Rider stuff there, though, for you guys if you're interested. But yeah, just kind of wanted to focus on what some of the Gunpla and other mecha model stuff was that would be featured in this 2012 magazine. So it's kind of cool to go back. And then, you know, it's just kind of just for the sake of nostalgia, just kind of for the sake of that, it's just kind of interesting to reminisce what was coming out back 12 years ago now at this point. Here's some Star Wars stuff and other different kind of movie stuff here. Death Camp over here. Predator themed diorama. Very interesting. But yeah, it's not only just kind of interesting just to see like what was coming out back then at the time, but I mean there's like cool, we saw like those beginners tips in there and just some really nice custom builds featured in here as well. So always interesting stuff to see here like this. But yeah, so we've got advertisements in here for some different anime, it looks like. And there's going to be like anime related goods, character models, garage kits, stuff like that, figures. I think there'll probably be advertisements in here for stuff like card games and things like that as well. A lot of figures, though, mostly going to be for this later section. Here's what we saw on the front of the cover. Ah yes, Nene Anegasaki from Love Plus. Yeah, I kind of vaguely recognized the character. I'm not really too familiar with Love Plus. I believe is a game, a computer game, I think, right? But yeah, I've just seen the character. It's quite like popular character. There's a little bunch of different garage kits ever that I know of, but these are just going to be some different statues, different anime characters, game characters, stuff like that, as well as, like I said, garage kits. Some will be advertised in here as well, some different things. So, all right, as we're just kind of going through some of these later pages here, getting close to the end where we've still got like 100 pages left actually. There's still a lot to go through, but like I said, lots of different character stuff here. Let me know in the comment section, just going back to some of the parts towards the beginning of this issue where we were kind of more focused on like the Gunpla and things like that. What were some of the things that you saw in this issue that were particularly interesting to you? Interesting, another Easter egg to find in here, another something cool to see in here. This is the Shinkai 6500 submarine model kit from Bandai. This is a model kit that I've always wanted to build. Actually, I don't own this, and I don't. I've never built it, obviously, but I've always wanted to. It always looked like a really interesting kit, sort of like a real world model kit. But yeah, this is in, what was the scale? 1/48 scale. But yeah, not built on, but it always looked interesting to me, so I would like to build one at some point. Anyway, yeah, and then of course there will be some traditional models, ship models. This one's kind of cool just for the camo pattern on that. It's quite interesting. That's not sparkle camo, right? I think it's similar to that anyway, though, and I'm not sure if that's even the right word for what I'm thinking of, but anyway, ship models, aircraft models, I assume we'll probably see some armor, tanks, cars, motorcycles and stuff. This kind of stuff in here, so cool builds for sure. If you guys want to check out anything, if that's something that's more of interest to you, some nice reference photos of some of those type of models, and then a bunch of stuff, advertisements here for new models and new products and things like that related to military models. All right, let's see. This is, I think, some more different toys and figures and gashapon type stuff. So this is something I talked about in another recent magazine review, is that it seems like there was so much more different, like, interesting and cool gashapon stuff that used to come out in the past, and like less so. Maybe it's just that I'm not really paying much attention to it these days, but it seems like these days there's less interesting gashapon coming out compared to what they used to make more. And maybe it's just a kind of that companies just were not really making as much money on gashapon stuff. I think probably they figured out they could make more money on different type of products. So there's like a very interesting Seed Gundam girl illustration there. That's kind of cool. So yeah, it looks like we have, this is a fan art, fan submitted art to the magazine, some more art and advertisement stuff here towards the back. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what was particularly interesting to you to see. Here's the Panzerkampf Anzug aus G. I'm sure I just slaughtered the name of that suit here, this Maschinen Krieger kit, but another cool Maschinen Krieger advert up there. Yep, so anyway, that's it for this issue. There was a lot of really cool stuff in there. It's cool to see that submarine model kit towards the end there, just because that's a model kit that I would particularly like to check out at some point. And there was the Mega Size Age 1, another kit that I would love to build. And then there was the Rigelgu. That was probably my favorite. The Rigelgu build was super cool. And of course, the Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn, always a classic. So that's it for this issue, guys. There was a ton to go through, almost 400 pages in a monthly issue, but a lot of really cool stuff in there, definitely. So really awesome issue, this one. It's cool. All right, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you want to check out some more model kits for yourself, check the link in the video description to USA Gundam store. Got all sorts of cool stuff there for you guys to check out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all of your support. Leaving a like, leaving a comment, making sure that you're subscribed. It all helps out a great deal, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, have a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.